Welcome to GlobeTrotter. I'm Jon Haggins and I'm here with Elise, and she is an expert on Corsica. Corsica is a wonderful indigenous grape country and they make wonderful wines. So let's talk about the history of Corsica.
Well, Corsica is an island that actually have been involved in the wine business for so long. Started with the Greeks 6th century before Christ. The Greeks set it up around here in Aleria, and then the Roman took over the viticulture in Corsica. So we have a very long history, and we inherited from all the great wine ancestors.
You know, history, histoire, is what this whole country is about, and it's what France is about, and I love it. I mean, when we come here from America, we learn so much. We drink so much. It's just marvelous, you know, and the cuisine is extraordinary too.
Sure, and this is the savoir-vivre of French people and Corsican people, you know, drinking and enjoying life and food. And here we have like local wines and food. A great culture here.
That's what we had last night.
Exactly.
It was also colorful, which I loved, you know. It had lots of color, and it was seasoned beautifully, and the wines were superb. Elise, let's talk about the different kinds of wine and the different kinds of grapes that produce the wine.
There is more than 30 varieties of grapes in Corsica, only indigenous grapes that only grows here. One of the most popular is the Nielucciu. Nielucciu means little black grape. It's a grape that we use for red and rosé, and it's the most popular grape in Corsica. The only one used very popular are the Vermentino, very popular in Italy, and the Bianco Gentile.
How fantastic. What kind of grape is this?
This is actually a Nielucciu. So as you can see, it's a very colorful and red grape. It has like a very thin skin, so that makes very elegant wines, very aromatic, but like, you know, you have like soft tannins. Be careful of the pepin. Is it good?
It's rather tart.
Yeah.
So it's not ripe.
No, it's not ready.
Exactly. That's very funny too. Bah! But anyway, how long does it take? Every year you have a yield, is that right? From the vineyard?
What is a yield?
A yield is meaning they come to fruition, the grapes. So there's only once a year.
Yes, exactly. So we harvest once a year, and now we are in the harvesting season, which starts at the end of September through the end of October. And here we actually harvest by hand and at night, because as you can see, it's very sunny from very early in the morning and it gets very hot. So we harvest from 11 p.m. to 5 to 6 a.m.
So that's very unusual, because the other parts of the country, well, not Corsica, but in France, they harvest in the early morning, and it's a whole different, or all day, and you guys do it the opposite. Plus your vines are much taller, which is interesting too, because the others were very short, and everyone's producing different kinds of wine, and everything is so delicious.
Yes.
So delicious. Just absolutely wonderful. This has been an incredible experience, just being here in the vineyards and with having the sunshine, my God.
Yeah,
it's beautiful,
right.
beautiful.
Yeah, right. You can see how this is. Corsica. It's a very sunny island. It gets a lot of sunshine all year long, and the good thing is that we have actually a microclimate, because we are a little bit high in altitude, and you can see on the back we have the mountains. So at night, the wind comes down the mountains and cools down the wine. So it's perfect for our local grapes.
Well, I think, you know, the difference is you don't have to have a fence around, because the mountains are like a fence.
Exactly.
You know, to prevent, you know, the destruction of the vines.
Exactly. They protect us from the wind, from too much wind, from all the storm. And yes, we are very, very thankful for that, you know, beautiful place.
Viva Corsica! The most amazing and inspiring experience is walking through the vineyards.
Franco e chiaro e uso cambiata da forestieri e paesani da tutti si mancata tutto ognuno si domanda di qualsiasi.
The grape pickers have to be very limber because it's a very demanding job. After the grapes are cut from the vines, they carry them over to a truck, and then the truck goes off to the processing plant. Chantez! Divine! This was one of the best experiences of my life.
We are here with Stéphane Daquaron, the president of Helios, the essential oil distillery. And Stéphane is here today to introduce us what he's doing, what's production, and can you tell us a little bit about your plant and also how many times per year you harvest and everything?
Nous sommes producteurs d'huile essentielle d'Immortelle d'Italie et l'Ichrysum italicum. Nous représentons à peu près actuellement 70 à 80% de la production totale de Corse. Nous avons à peu près en superficie 120 hectares d'Immortelle.
So the name of the plant is Immortelle d'Italie, which is the Latin name is?
Et l'Ichrysum italicum.
Okay, and you have 120 hectares?
Yes.
And so you produce about 85% of Corsican
Yes.
production?
Production.
Okay.
Donc nous sommes partenaires avec les plus grands groupes actuels de la cosmétique et de l'aromathérapie en France.
Okay.
En l'occurrence l'Occitane, Pure Essentiel, Aromazone, Rosier d'Avenne.
Oh wow! So they partner with you partner with big French companies like Occitane, you said, right?
Yes.
So big companies in the industry like Occitane, Aromazone, you said, Pure Essentiel.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Et donc nous avons mis en partenariat un contrat de plantation depuis 2011. Et donc nous développons l'immortelle sur le marché actuel de la cosmétique et de l'aromathérapie en expansion sur 30 hectares par an de plus tous les ans.
All right, so he has a partnership since 2011 and every year they increase the production of 30 hectares. Do you produce cream?
Oui, Helios di Corsica produit des crèmes cosmétiques que nous avons élaborées avec des chimistes insulaires de Corse. Nous avons des parfums d'ambiance, des bougies et tout autre produit dérivé de l'huile essentielle d'Immortelle.
That's amazing. Candles, cosmetic, creams, perfume, home perfume that you developed with Corsican
Oui.
chemistry people.
Nous avons actuellement 2 grands nez qui travaillent pour nous sur notre gamme. En l'occurrence Marco Cortichiato qui est le parfumeur de parfums d'Empire, qui est assez connu, je dirais, au niveau mondial, et Patrick Paquet de Corsica Essence qui élabore plutôt nos parfums d'ambiance.
So two great men in the cosmetic world, Marco Cortichiato, who is worldwide known, and
Patrick Paquet.
Patrick Paquet. Can you tell us a little bit about actually the raw product and how are the oil made and what it comes from?
Donc, des recherches ont débuté en 2005 sur l'huile essentielle d'Immortelle. Notamment, les plus grosses recherches qui ont été effectuées par l'Occitane, qui a déposé beaucoup de brevets.
So the Occitane protected many researches to research actually in the Immortelle d'Italie in the plant, and those researches started in 2005, 12 years ago.
Donc des molécules présentes dans l'huile essentielle ont été repérées par ces investisseurs qui les ont trouvées très intéressantes et qui ont développé des formules, que ce soit en cosmétique ou en aromathérapie, pour le bien-être des gens, ainsi que dans le domaine médical, pour se soigner, je dirais, en aromathérapie.
So with those researches, they actually found molecules inside that plant that is helping people with a health problem inside and outside. Is there a different fragrance in your oils?
Non, on ne trouve pas de grosses différences olfactives sur cette huile. On trouve des différences qui sont minimes sur la chromatographie, sur le pourcentage de présence de certaines molécules, notamment l'acétate de néryle, en fonction de la situation géographique des champs. C'est-à-dire que plus nous passons du nord de la Corse vers le sud, plus on a un taux d'acétate de néryle qui descend. Mais progressivement, c'est-à-dire que maintenant, les industriels ont réussi à faire une norme nous représentant, et nous, chaque fois que nous leur envoyons une commande, on est représenté, voir si on rentre dans la norme. Voilà. Donc ils ont basé leur formulation sur notre norme.
This is really incredible actually, because the oil itself doesn't really have different fragrances, but according to what it's produced in Corsica, north or south of the island, the fragrances changes because there is a molecule called, can you give me the name again?
L'acétate de néryle.
Acetate de néryle, I don't have the name in English, and according to the percentage of that molecule in the plant, the fragrance changes. And some of their big clients in France and worldwide, they actually have to respect that percentage of the molecules. Does the fragrance changes according to the people? If I want to put the fragrance on my skin, will the smell change according to my skin or your skin?
Je ne pense pas sincèrement que l'odeur change. L'odeur est sensiblement pareille. C'est uniquement chromatographiquement que nous trouvons une certaine différence. Donc dans la formulation, si nous n'avons pas la même chromatographie, cela peut être assez embêtant pour les principaux transformateurs de cette huile. C'est pour cela qu'on a admis une norme, et ces industriels travaillent sur cette norme. Ensuite, je pense que la formulation chez eux est effectuée, c'est-à-dire que quand on achète un lot chez moi et un lot chez quelqu'un qui est dans Haute-Corse, eh ben on fait un mulch de tout ça, et ils élaborent leurs produits. Ils ne peuvent pas avoir de différence.
Okay, so it's actually the fragrance doesn't change too much. It's actually, again, the percentage of that molecule that exists and that they put in the cream that will change the smell. And this is why, again, they partner in France have to respect that percentage of molecule in order to keep the smell they want.
Nous faisons d'autres plantes, nous faisons d'autres huiles essentielles, mais notre marché est uniquement basé sur l'immortelle, car cette huile spécifique à la Corse nous permet de pouvoir nous battre sur le marché mondial. Tandis que les autres huiles que nous pouvons bénéficier en Corse, on les trouve ailleurs. Et donc on n'arrive pas à lutter, je dirais, économiquement par rapport à d'autres pays. Voilà.
Wow, this is really interesting, because this is actually the local Corsican oil, and only produced in Corsica. So they do have other natural oil, but the other one, you know, the bigger actors have their share on the market, and they actually use the Immortelle d'Italie to differentiate themselves in the market. Stéphane, thank you so much. It has been a great pleasure speaking with you and learning more about your Immortelle d'Italie plants. Corsica has great artisanal products, and they have many more.
Helio di Corsica makes the best essential oils. The fragrances are very special. Pamela and I are tasting some of the wines from Domaine Terra Vecchia. Chantez! What a wonderful morning here in Corsica. I'm sitting here with my best friend, Pamela Whitman, and she knows everything about Corsica. But we're going to talk about the domain that we're at, sitting at this wonderful restaurant. So let's talk about that.
Sure. Well, John, first of all, it's been a pleasure having you here in Corsica and discovering this island, rediscovering for me and discovering with you. We're here at the restaurant of the vineyard Domaine de Terra Vecchia, which means in Corsican old land. We're sitting on a magnificent view, as you can probably see behind us here, overlooking a pond that grows oysters and mussels.
Delicious. Delicious.
So this vineyard is extremely old and has two components to it. One is here that we can see behind us on the ocean. That makes the wines of Terra Vecchia, and the other one is a little further in altitude in the mountains. That makes the wines of Clos Poggiale. Both of them are very, very traditional, classic Corsican wines. The owners have replanted old varieties that are local and indigenous to Corsica, which is very important to the people of this land. Just for situation, Corsica is this little island south of France, but the Corsicans don't really consider themselves French. This is something that's fairly typical of people who live on islands. There's definitely a subculture here. Very, very proud people. In recent years, they've decided to replant a lot of their own varieties and stay away from classic wines such as Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, Cabernet. They want to really
Have their own identity?
Exactly, have their own identity and also pay tribute to the people who were before them. And I think that's wonderful. And all the wines that are coming out of Corsica nowadays are generating a great interest because of that. And this is a little bit of the reason why I wanted to bring you here, not only to experience the great wines of Corsica, but of course the culture and some of the food that is absolutely amazing here.
Pamela, tell me the different kinds of wine that they produce here.
They produce a lot of different wines and in different ranges, but let me talk to you about, just as an example, two names of varieties that they use here. On the white side, they use a lot of Vermentino, which is classic also in Italy. There's a lot of similarities sometimes between the soils. On the red, they have Nielucciu, which they typically blend with either Merlot or Syrah, which bring different elements to the blend. You have to know that mostly Corsica is known for producing phenomenal white and rosé wines. The red wines are coming back just now. There's a lot of work to be done on this because they feel they want to use their own grapes, but the acidity level tend to be a little high, and it's phenomenal to pair these wines with food, but you also need a little more body, and that's why you heard me pronounce Merlot and Syrah as examples of varieties that they blend in.
That's wonderful. Absolutely. Tell me about that wonderful picnic on the island. That was sensational, where the chef came out and he produced this incredible meal, and we had oysters. My God, everyone was dying for oysters.
Listen, this was such a surprise, even for me, for everyone. The French are known for two things. One, to do the most wonderful picnics anywhere in the world and the most unusual places. And second, they love surprises. So I think we got the epitome of this. They came up with this idea of taking us on a flatboat that barely had anything to hang on to for dear life. Thank goodness the water was really nice and quiet. And get on this island that, believe it or not, was made of shells from the oysters themselves, which over the centuries were dumped. They even say that it started with the Romans more than 2,000 years ago.
The Diana Lake is so calm as we sail to the restaurant Coquilles de Diana.
Da forestieri e paesani da tutti si rimarcata.
Oyster traps are all over the lake, because that's a major industry.
Si domanda di qual sia.
I feel as free as this bird.
La mia ricca caista dura, bianchera sai colori, guardati.
Terra di Corsica, sada unisce la gente per un abbraccio comune che saranno a sommente. Se no diremo tutti insieme, forse che un giorno sciapperà, davaro frombo, 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 chi ribombi da mare là. Se no diremo tutti insieme, forse che un giorno sciapperà, davaro frombo, 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 come un canto di libertà.
Che sono innamorato e quella di tuoi capelli li toggi tanto allegri ci mi sceno li zideli ma di là franco e chiaro e uso uno di quelli.
This picnic on the lake was a total and delightful surprise.
Seppellire la sua montagna, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 in seppellire sulla montagna, sotto all'ombra d'un bel fior, e la gente che passeranno, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao.
Tutto ognuno si domanda di qualsiasi.
You know, histoire is so important in this whole area.
Of course. I think it's important all over Europe. It's always something to be interested in before you come and travel to some place. Find out a little bit about the history, about the people, how they are, the little idiosyncrasies about their culture, how to address them. And it's so true. And in this, in this area, in Europe in general, the Romans have had so much influence. But in every country in the world, it's like this. Even if the history doesn't go back that far, it's important to know about it, I feel.
You know, we also had that wonderful ride along the Mediterranean, which I thought was amazing. I mean, we dashed through the water. It was very exhilarating. And we could
Yes.
see the coast, which was wonderful, and the beautiful beaches that you have at Corsica.
Yes. So you were able to see the two sides of Corsica from the distance of the Mediterranean. In other words, these, fairly flat areas just on the side, with beautiful beaches, but that are fairly rare. You don't see them all over the place. So they're even more special when you get there. And if you get there by boat, it's
even more special.
It's even more special. And then right behind, you could see the very, very, very rugged and cut up mountains. And we were there after sunset, so we were able to see straight through them and see they look like needles almost.
Well, they reminded me actually of a man lying down with his mouth open because he's having such joy from drinking these great wines.
Absolutely. That's
celebrating.
Exactly. That's one way to look at it. It's always fun to see little shapes in the mountains.
To use your imagination.
Absolutely.
You know. Pamela, talk about this great restaurant that's really a treasure here in the vineyards.
Yes, right? You don't even see it. You barely see it coming here. You barely know that it exists.
Surprise!
There's one sign that indicates it, which is another thing playing on what I was saying earlier about surprises. The harder it gets, to find out about a place, the more people want to come. So this is a new restaurant that the owner of Domaine Terra Vecchia, Jean-François Rinucci, wanted to do, and he teamed up with a very, very dear friend of his who's a phenomenal local chef who's been known for years to cook wonderful things from this region. And he happened to be available and decided, let's do this and let's open this place. And it really fits with everything. It's very natural. You barely know that this is a restaurant once you get here. And then the view is just amazing.
Chef Philippe Vincensini and Chef Breslau prepare some of the best colorful dishes at Veni e Posa Restaurant.
Sono innamorato e quella di tuoi capelli li togli.
You know what I think is wonderful? It's the fact that they do all these pairings with different dishes. So, you know, it's so spectacular, and it's sharing their passion. And passion is so important here.
Definitely, passion is a big part of the culture in Corsica. And to go back to your pairings, I think that what was interesting and what is interesting is the fact that, in a way, you have to feel free doing what you want. In other words, they've been pulling out all these dishes, and then they've been pulling out all the wines. They're available, you can try them, and you can decide for yourself what you like best. And I think that's the best way to go, really. Sometimes
Absolutely.
it can be a little intimidating when you have a wine list and a menu and try to do this job by yourself or with the help of a sommelier. The best is to say, if there's a large group having dinner, just order one of each of the dishes and the wines on a small menu, of course, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Exactly. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome, John, anytime. And, you know, let's continue to travel like this, and certainly, let's come back to Corsica.
Wonderful. I love Corsica. It's amazing, you know. I always say, remember, my world is your world. So get up, get out, and travel.
Absolutely.
Fortunato sarà quello che
Hope to see you next week at another colorful experience. So long for now.
fortunato sarà quello che